definitely picking up also. Today, 16 lead changes. Already a record. You look back at the years that they have raced here, and it's the first time there have been double-digit lead changes. And it's William Byron that's out front right now. But with every turn, every time he turns left, you almost cringe thinking, okay, don't let it be a tire issue. Don't let that car go hard to the right. But that's got to be what William Byron is thinking also if he still has that vibration.
Yeah, but as he runs there, and the more laps that he runs, and this doesn't get any worse, then he builds a little more confidence that there's just something that's not going to be catastrophic for him in that type situation, because otherwise he's smart enough to understand that, you know, you got a 2.5-mile racetrack. If this continues to get worse and worse and worse, then we're going to have an eventual problem. But he seems pretty comfortable with it right now.
Parker, he's got a half-second lead over Cup drivers Logano and Menard.
Exactly, and DJ, you kind of talk about where he's maybe getting more comfortable with, but remember, you can't back off here. Remember this package where at times alone and in qualifying, these guys are flat out around this racetrack. So fans out there might be wondering, well, why doesn't he just back off a little bit in the corners? Maybe, you know, let the car roll more. They're not doing that. They're in the throttle. So this is a very tough position to be in as a young driver trying to evaluate the condition of that tire, because you have to push on, one, to keep the lead, and two, because there is nowhere to lift around here.
Listen, with 5 laps to go, Paul Menard's a factor in this race. He has run these guys down from a long way back. One or two things. He either needs to clear this 22 car, get by him and run William Byron down, or push that 22 car to try to catch William Byron. Right here you see he's making a move. He will clear him getting into turn 3. He has a shot to win this race.
Paul Menard moves up to second. Now, less than 5 laps to go, just over 4 laps to go for William Byron. Can he stay out in front of Paul Menard now?
Byron's never been there before. He doesn't know that you're supposed to do anything except run wide open around here. That's from the very first laps that he was on the racetrack. But has he abused this tire a little bit too much in staying out here, taking the lead back a couple of different times? Has Paul Menard saved a little something and have something for him right here in these last couple of laps?
4 laps to go. Look at them go through the lap traffic.
What a difficult spot to catch a lap car.
He's drove through the middle like they're, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do.
And now the gap closes again. Here comes the 2. Paul Menard. Paul Menard with a lot of run now. Had the momentum. Ducks in behind the 9 as they get ready to make that left turn.
This is where we're going to see how much Byron, are his tires giving up. Can Paul Menard make a run off of turn 4, off of turn 2 that's going to benefit him down these long straightaways?
Paul Menard can just break even with him in the corners. That will give him an advantage down the straightaways with that draft. So that's what he's got to do. He's got to inch up corner by corner, straightaway by straightaway to ultimately get that position. It's not going to happen in one straightaway. It's going to take a few to make this happen.
3 laps to go. Paul Menard has closed the gap now. Paul Menard's so good at this racetrack, has won the Brickyard 400, his lone Cup win. Can he add an Xfinity Series win to that resume?
You see Byron doing everything that he can to break any kind of momentum, any drafting effect that Paul Menard may be getting off of his car.
Looks to the outside. Is he going to 3?
That block hurt William Byron's entry into turn 3. He entered very shallow. That helped Paul Menard on the exit of 3.
Through 4 and back onto the front stretch. This time by it'll be 2 laps to go. They both were on pit road at lap 57. The other question is, do they have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end?
William Byron doing a nice job, especially into turn 1. It's easy, especially as you're trying to block someone, to do exactly what Jeff pointed out he had to do in turn 3. But now he's making a wide arc into that. That's keeping Paul Menard at bay right there, not letting him get the run that's going to allow him to get up the side.
DJ, you're exactly right. He's making his car, essentially he's making his car wider by making that big arc.
And now he's blocking. William Byron blocking that time as they go into 3. Byron just in front of Paul Menard. The 2 have separated themselves by almost 2 seconds. They're in front of Logano.
We've seen the advantage for Paul Menard is down the back straightaway. He's got to try to break even with William through 1 and 2 to get that big run down the back straightaway.
1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. The white flag in the air. inside, then the outside. William Byron blocking both times before they got into turn one.
Menard tried to get to his bumper, see if he could loosen him up right there at that point in time. Here's his last chance, really, of making this happen.
Got a good run off turn two.
Down the backstretch they go for the final time. William Byron, a car length in front of Paul Menard. Byron now coming up on lap traffic. Will that affect him as they go through the final turn? He goes to the inside of the 52. Will Paul Menard have anything for him? Coming onto the front stretch. The first time he's ever been to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will he be able to hold him off? William Byron wins at Indy.
Good job, man. Hell of a job. Awesome job, guys. Awesome. I believe that tire held on, Dave. That was awesome, man.
It was 2 weeks ago where William Byron thought he had won at the biggest stage, Daytona. And in his first ever start at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the 19-year-old is going to be able to kiss the bricks.